Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to set our storage for our Amazon 2.0. If you are new in this video, then please, I'm going to referring you to these previous two videos. One is for the first part, one is for the second part. Feel free to go back there and learn each and everything by which you will be entering here and what I'm going to do in that. And of course, the link, it will be in the description below. And what I'm going to do is that to creating the store, whenever we click, as you see, added successfully, but we are not adding the product in the cart. So today we're going to create this store and we will use that Justin to create our store. So first thing first, I'm going to install that one in my project. So I'm going to go here and npm I Justin. So after installing, I need to set up several processes here. So first thing first, let's go and create one library folder. So in the source, I have already one lib folder here. So here I'm gonna create one file which will be store.ts. So all the functionality related to that store, it will be underlying here. So I'm gonna make that export const. I'm gonna make it a bigger bit. Okay. And here I'm going to define it as a store is equal to create. That create need to be imported from our friend of that Justin. So I'm going to go in the top. It will be import create from Justin. Okay. So now how it going to be working? So it's just a simple function. So what I'm gonna do, and there is one more probability is there. We're gonna use the persist to keep the persisting in our project. So I'm gonna declare the function and then I'm gonna return within that because I'm gonna define the persist. So it will be persist and it's going to be imported from Justin middleware. So that's the persist is coming here. So from the persist, I'm going to define some parameter which going to be having a set method, and then I'm going to return the other parameter. So this is the one parameter going to align, and after that we need to also set the middleware. So after this parameter, I'm gonna setting my middleware. So the name, I'm gonna just provide the name of that middleware which is going to be store and then storage. And after that, I need to select a middleware storage which going to be, I need to, okay, storage. I need to create a storage which I'm gonna make that custom storage. So I'm gonna create that right now. So what I need to do is that first providing the type for my storage. So whatever is the store going to be contained, that create store, that will be the type for it. And I'm going to import my product from the type. So first thing first, what will be like the cart product? It will be an array of products. Then add to cart is a function by which we're gonna just returning a promise by which we're gonna add the product. Then decrease quantity, similar a function. Remove from quantity, it will also be a function. And reset cart, similarly a function. So in both parameter in the top, add to cart, we're getting the product, decrease quantity and remove quantity, getting the ID. So that's the similar parameter. We can also adding one more is that like increase quantity, but we'll just go with that adding cart. Then we have the favorite product, which is the add to favorite product, a array of product here. Add to favorite means returning the product and with the function and a similar thing which we have been did in the top. So in here, whenever we are going to create, we're gonna just define that store type. So it's gonna having our type. So one more properties is required here is that our storage to generate a custom storage here. So first, let's go in the top and I'm going to declare my storage here. So in the custom storage, what I'm doing is that get item, by which is the item should be a local storage get item method and return item, and we're gonna just making a parsing that item by which you're gonna get the item, otherwise returning the null. And set item, similar parameter but local storage, we are just setting the value within the local storage by making a stringify method. And then remove item, we are just removing the item from the local store. So instead of this method here, I think maybe the should be custom storage. So now we have our storage ready. So now we need to create the exact methods. So here we need to define some initial method, which going to be cart product. It should be an empty at the beginning. Then we're gonna have our favorite cart product, which going to be empty at the beginning, empty. And then we have our add to cart functionality, which we will just get a props on as a product, our product props, and then we're gonna declare the function here. So now what we going to having whenever we are declaring the product card. So what I'm doing here is that we're gonna return a functional promises here. So I'm gonna just pour things up here a bit. So first thing first, let me just explain what we are doing here. So first, in that our product, so it's add to cart, that's the function here. We're just returning a promise which is going to create a resolver here. First we are just setting as an existing product, right? If we are having any product in our cart, so it should be a const existing item. So now we are going to see state.cart product. So we are just returning to our cart product, and then we are just trying to find if we are having any product in the cart, and then we are mixing it with the product ID plus the product ID we are going to provide it here. So now I think store type is defined here in the top. Yes, defined here. Okay, then if we have the existing product, what we are doing, we are making that cart product dot state. So in the cart product we are defining that state dot cart product dot map, and we are mapping with that our product ID which we have in the store, including the product ID we are providing. So if it's meshed together, if the product ID which we are sending and also we are having a product ID which we are having in our store, if both match, I'm adding a quantity. So if we is match, then we are adding a quantity. If it's 0 equal, we are just making a +1 quantity. Otherwise we are just setting the product. So what we are doing here is that just keeping the cart product. If we are sending any cart product, if it's available in the cart, then it's adding, otherwise it's just keeping it there. And else, so we are returning that if we are not having any product in the cart product, we are putting spreading the cart state product property, then we are adding that product, then quantity as 1. So means if we are sending add to carting a new item first instances, that time what we are doing, because we don't have any quantity batch here, so we are adding a quantity at the first instance. The next time when we are having a product in that, like if you are sending a similar product, we are just increasing the quantity. Okay, that's as simple as that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some of other action method which going to be improvised here. After that add to cart quantity, I think it's very simple. Is that how you just find the existing item? Then if you have existing item, then how you are underlying it, that with just matching with the ID, increasing the quantity, and then returning the cart product. Then after that we are using a resolver to resolve all the instances. Then we have the decrease quantity, and the method we are taking as a product ID here, which going to be number, because whenever we are going to decrease the quantity, we are going to send back the ID. So now what's happening here, in this state we are again finding that existing item, matching with that state.cartProduct.find using the find method. If we are having that product.id with is equal to the ID we are sending. If we have the existing product, again we are increasing quantity, otherwise just keeping that. It's just a null check. You can just go through and just increase the quantity, it will just simply work. Okay, and later one, what we did, just remove from card. So we are just removing each and everything. So remove from card, and we are sending then product ID, and within a single instances we are making a filter method. So means whenever we are sending a product number, then we are just filtering that number with existing card product, means the ID which we are sending, it should be deleted from here. Then in the receipt card, we are just going to set the card as an empty card, so that we have the add to favorite as a similar parameter the way we have been created, just to remove that add to just to removing that instances for the quantity, because we are not having that quantity here. And after that we have also removed from favorite. So if you click here within just filterable parameter, we can also remove that product from our favorite and reset the remove favorite portion. Then for saving in the local storage, we are using the stored storage using the custom storage here, the one which we have been created. So three scenario going to be action taken action from here. First, add to cart, so we're gonna use it. Then decrease the quantity, we're gonna use it. Then remove from cart, and then reset cart. So four actions we are going to amplify in this build. So first things, as you see, I think it would be a clear if you're just going to try and make it in a very professional manner. So now how we can actually let it work. Remember, we have a page, or we have a function here. We have a component which is the product card. We're going to amplify it here. But instead of doing that, remember, we have one button here. I think add to card button, maybe add to card button. Yeah, all the instances we will just going to create it in add to card button. In the add to cart button, as you see, we have just a simple button here. So now here we need to create a simple other parameter also. First thing first, we're gonna go and align one like is on click. We're gonna make that one as a handle add to cart. Okay, so it will be handle add to cart function. So we're gonna declare it in the top. So it will be const handle add to cart. Okay. So now what we're gonna just make it here. First, we're gonna just put in our check if we have the product, then what we're going to make it happen. So if we just see back here, I think we need to make it in the lower level, yeah, in this between. So if we are going to have the product, then what we are going to happen, we're gonna make that add to cart functionality. Oops, not add to cart button, it should be add to cart. And let's just see a bit in our store, because we can't see. Okay, it's not providing that. So first what we need to do, we need to keep that what we're going to create. So const, it should be add to cart, and it will be from our store which we have been created in the library. So we're gonna get from that add to cart, and also we're gonna get from their cart product, we're gonna get from their decrease quantity. So that's the parameter we are going to use. So in the add to cart, we're gonna send directly the product we are going to have. So in the add to cart, it's going to add the product, and after adding the product, there will be a separate functionality which we also need to inject. Is that we're gonna send that a toast message. So toast.success it's going to be, and the name it should be providing on that product dot title, and I'm gonna make it a substring to make a 0 to 12 character, and then gonna say added successfully. Okay, so right now if we are going to add a single product, it should be popping up a method here by which we are adding that. If we click, let's see. Okay, I think we better make a reload here, because as we are setting up this state, it will take a bit of time. Click here, you see it's added properly. So now how you can say that if it's adding or not. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna log that the proper method here, which is going to be our not that log, it should be console.log. We're gonna make that our cart product. Hit save. And now let's go in the inspector to see if anything is appending here. As you see, we are having a 4 product added to our cart. So now what's this product we need to provide in also our cart, like in the header also we need to let it be coming there. So let's go in there. So in the header we have one properties. So if we go back to our header, we have one property which is the cart button, which we are going to make it as use client. So const should be I think cart product is coming from the store. Oops, it should be store. And there is a good thing whenever using Justin is that you don't need to set up the parameter like what you call that for the middleware, and also for the provider you don't need to set that. It's automatically going to be rendered here, just directly injecting. Okay, so in the store, okay, as I'm going to use this store, I need to make it as use client, otherwise it will giving a pop-up. Okay, let us see when it's going to provide. So we're going to provide that if we have that cart product. Okay, if we have that oops, it will be cart product dot length is bigger than 0, then we're going to provide that cart product dot length. Otherwise we're going to make it as 0. As we use that client set library with the justin, so we need to make it as use client. Hit save. We should be able to see some products here in the cart added already, so because okay, now you can click. As you see, product is added. Okay, that's a similar product, that's so it's just increasing the quantity. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to create the functionality here. Whenever we have the product in the cart, we will move the button in a separate way. Okay, how we can do that? First thing first, let's go back here in the add to cart button. I'm gonna just close it right now, for right now only, or I'm gonna just make it or take it within an empty braces. I'm gonna keep it here, then I'm gonna comment it. Okay, after commenting, I'm gonna create two separate button properties here. First, let's get a div here. So there will be first button, which going to be fa minus, and need to import from that React icons which we have been using. And then we're gonna provide a p tag here, so should be a p tag. Just put a 0 here, then again one more button, and here I'm gonna provide that, oops, it should be button. I'm gonna provide plus icon. Okay, so now if we just coming back here, as you see, we have three things here. First thing first, we're gonna define some of the parameter for that particular div. Put a class name. Okay, the class name which going to be a flex. It will be self start, so starting from the like starting point. Justify center gap should be 2, padding y should be 2, and margin bottom should be 2. Hit save, and you can see all together that's coming. Okay, that looks quite good. So now how we gonna arrange the button? So in the button, make some class name here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just provide some custom class name for this particular button here. Okay, so what I'm dealing here, I'm gonna giving a background color, which is the particular f7 f7 f7, then also making text as black. Padding I'm giving 2, giving a border, and border should be a gray of 200. Then also making a hover border should be sky text. As you see, I think we should not have sky text here, so sky 600 we're gonna provide. Okay, as you see, coming here. So that's the simple things. Also I'm gonna get that same parameter here for this button, because both button going to be similar, as you see. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, providing some parameter for that p. For that p, it should be like a text should be base and font should be semi bold. I'm gonna give it 10 of width, and text should be center, just to align that properties with that parameter, as you see. Okay, so now we are having that our button property, but when this button will appear, that's we need to define right now. So first it will not be there, first only it will be our actionable parameter, that one which is add to cart button, that will be there. But now we need to find is if this product is available in the cart or not. To find that, let's just going to define one state at the top. So it should be const existing product set existing product use state. So first parameter, it should be null, so there will be no existing product right now. And what we're gonna create, we're gonna find like we have one array of product, right? So from that, as you see, that's the product we are having. So if we just be a console of that, this cart product is the actual product which we are having there in that cart. But we need to find in the cart that we are having the product we are now within inside that product is available on that cart product. So I'm going to make that use effect, and here I'm going to loop through it all time all together whenever we are going to adding a product here. So it should be const available item, and that should be our cart product dot find, and we're gonna make it as an item. So that should be defining that item dot id is equal to product, not the product card, oops, it should be product.id. So that should be our available product. So if we have the available product, I'm going to just make a log here just to see. It will be just returning that our available item. Okay, and that will check whenever is our product is changing. So means if the product card is changing, or within the product is the card product also is changing, that time it gonna make that flexible things. So if we roll back the inspector here, as you see, if we come here and we click, okay, that's the is undefined first instance. Okay, that's we having there. So how we can see, because it's enclosing all the product, so available product dot id, we're gonna just see if how many products we have here. I'm gonna just remove everything just to see. Okay, now we are going to add a new product. Okay, see the available product id is already showing in there. If we click here, as you see, that's the 1 2 3 4, so that's the id which we are available here. So now once we having the available product, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make the set existing item should be like existing product should be not available product.id, entire available product it should be creating as an existing product. So in the use state, what I'm going to define is that it should be the product type which you're having here, or it can be null. Okay, so that's the type. Now let me see, argument product undefined is not okay. I think that should not be creating that error. Okay, also as we are keeping that as a null instance, we can just ensure it could be available product, otherwise just keep it null. So now how we can define that, we can just now make a simple condition here, as you see. So that's the condition going to be there. I'm going to cut it. So if I have that existing product here, then I'm going to refine that. Otherwise I'm going to bring my button here, which is going to refer as the add to cart button. So that's the simple condition I'm gonna put. If I have that existing product, then it's going to come, otherwise it's going to come this portion, as you see. So now if I adding in the cart, as you see, simply it's just changing the iteration. So how we can make it more classified or more productive in a way. So first thing first, in the button we need to provide that it should be existing, whenever existing product dot quantity. And if we hit save, we can see the available quantities there. One is 2, one is like several products, one product. So now once we click in that button, it should be decrease the quantity. Once we click in the add button, it should increase the quantity. So for increasing the quantity, we can feel sure to do so many things, but I'm going to just simply make that, just provide that handle add to cart, just to see that cart product instances should be creating here. So whatever the cart product going to do is also going to do it here. As you see, it's increasing. So now for the decrease quantity, we did something here in the for decreasing the quantity here. So now first thing first, is still decreasing quantity, we need to pass an id which is going to be aligned with the number. Then we are setting that store product, we are finding that existing product, and if we having that existing product, we are just increasing the decreasing quantity by 1. And also if we have like we'll sort it out what we are going to create the instances. So in the add to cart button, we're gonna make it as on click handle decrease quantity. Okay, so I'm gonna just copy that, and I'm gonna start here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is that, so first thing first, we're gonna check if we have the existing product or not. Somehow it will be there. Also we're gonna just make an cross check if existing product. Okay, first thing first, we're gonna make that just make that decrease quantity, and here we're gonna provide that our existing product dot id. Okay, and if we're having that decreased successfully, then we're going to also provide a toast message, which is going to be providing the success message available here. So it should be product dot title dot substring. We're going to provide a substring in between 0 to 10, and here we're going to define decrease successfully. Hit save. Okay, so now if we just roll back here, if we click on that, as you see, it's decreasing. But if we're decreasing more, as you see, we cannot decrease more than 1, because what we did here in that store, we are saying here is if it's equal to 1, so we're gonna minus 1 only. So if it cannot be decreased, is more than 1, the value should be equal 1. If it's equal to 1, so its product quantity is equal to 1, that minus 1. Otherwise, just set the 1 as in the parameter. That's it. So now how we can we need to send a message to the client, otherwise they're gonna start clicking, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it all, and here I'm gonna making again a statement. If existing item dot quantity here is is bigger than 1, only then, and I need to ensure that yes, quantity is available right now. Okay, if it's bigger than 1, then that, and then otherwise if it's not, we need to send a message here, which is going to be toast.error message. We can say you cannot decrease less than 1. Hit save. So if we come here, as you see, it cannot decrease less than 1. And also, if you don't want to pass that, like you can even make it unclickable. How you can do that? So first thing first, as you see, that's the method which we are taking here. I'm gonna just cut it all together. So let's just grab it all, and here I'm gonna using a backtick here. So what I'm gonna refer here, if like product, or we can just make that existing product dot quantity is equal to 1, and then we can define some of the class name. So the bg should be like that, what you can say, that gray of 200, and border, okay, just see, not 200, we're gonna make it as a 800 just to see how it's affecting here. Okay, let's just have a reload. So the border color should be 800 if we are having one. So you see, it's 100. So we can make it as 300 just to define that as a disable. Okay, and also we can make that a text of gray of 500. So we need to make bg of 200, text of, I think we will make that background similar. We can just refine the text. So as we are keeping it 500, we can keep it as 300. Just we're gonna remove the text parameter, and also whenever we hover, bg should be none. Hover outline should be that one. Hover border should be none. Okay, see, I think hover, not the border, so border should be transparent. So whatever the border we are providing, that would be the border. Okay, and the background, instead of none, I'm gonna also make it as a transparent. Let's see. It's working, but what is missing here? Okay, so we are having one disable, so I'm gonna remove that. Okay, let's just roll back there, and from where we're getting that background, hover bg white, so disable, okay, disable also. So the disable parameter we are just setting here. Actually, as we are having the disable setup, as you see, so we can just roll back there, we have the disable parameter, so we can just make that disable things to be actionable, so when it would be disable. So to do that, I'm going to remove this portion also. Okay, so I'm gonna make that button as a disable parameter, and when it's going to be disable, if that what you call that, if that existing product dot quantity is equal to 1, so means whenever the existing product quantity is 1, as you see now is disable. So in the disable also we're gonna make that like disabled, so means hover border should be just gray of 300. So first border which we are providing gray of 200, so gray of 200. So means if we click here now, as you see, even you click, it will not take action. Only whenever you just increase the quantity, it will take actions. So now our button is fully disabled, so even we are clicking here, it will not take any action. What if we go back here, and how it gonna react in that instance here, because we have a separate parameter, is a separate page. If we click, the same thing, as you see, that's the beauty whenever you are creating what a single component and underlying all together here. Now as you see, the same card which we have been created at the top priority, now it will also define some of the same parameter. So that's the beauty how you're gonna create it. Even in the add to cart button, when you're gonna design, you're gonna use the same parameter and it will react as the same. So in this build, as you see, we set up our already that our store which we using the justent. And if you're having an issue by creating this one, let me know in the comments below, because in several projects I use the same parameter. That's why I'm not going to explain a lot of things here. But if you're having problem facing that you cannot fulfill that one, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go and create a separate video to make you understand how to create this familiarly in that same fashion, and how you can go through it by creating a separate stages, separate store for separate applications. And also if you're feeling this video really helping you, let me know in the comments, and also please to like and subscribe the channel. So I think that's for today. In our next video, we're gonna use this user, as you see the sign in, we're gonna use that auth.js to create our users, and also you're gonna make that other parameter also. And by the way, before going there, we can also create, as you see, the search bar. We can go through it, and to start with, we have one search input field here, or in the component. As you see, we're going to start working on that component. So how we can render it here, you can see. So how we are going to make it there. So as you see, that's the input label which we have been created, and we make it as relative. So first I'm going to define the design here by which we can actually make the separation here. So it will be for our search field. So now in the search field, we're going to just provide a div here just to see, and provide a p tag hello. First we're going to just define the parameter how it's going to work, then we're going to define the other parameter. We're going to make it class name with the absolute property, and then left going to be 0, top going to be, we're going to provide a 12 from the top. Weight, we're going to provide the full weight of that parameter, and mx should be auto to keep in the middle. And max height, we're going to provide 96 of max height. vj going to be white, rounded would be empty, overflow y should be scroll, not contain, scroll, and cursor pointer text should be black. Okay, and cursor pointer things I think is not required, because fundamentally we're gonna make it in the top. As you see, that's the hello is coming here. So that's the instance which we are going to create here. But when it going to be coming, so first remember we have one search query, or you can say it is search here, search query available, then it will just to render. So now if we write something, you see it's available. If we cut, it just gone. So we're gonna create these instances here. So whenever we have that, how we need to also find the product variation, right? So first thing first, we need to grab the product here. We have our all product category. We will set the category and product here. So we're gonna have two more parameters. So one should be able for that, like let's just grab it here, const products, and we're gonna wrap it together using useStat. By default it should be an empty array. So now in that here, to grab the product, we're gonna use the useEffect, because we cannot use the fetch method directly, as this should be a client component, as you see, because the client interactivity is there. So what I'm gonna do, the similar fashion, I'm gonna get the product from here, from that endpoint. Okay, so now for the fetch data method, remember that fetch data we use, we are just sending that similar fashion. We are creating an endpoint, then we are using a try catch value, then we are just getting the data from our endpoint, then we are setting it as the product, and we are making an error if coming, putting the console and declaring the function here. So this one going to be just to be predefined. Whenever the product is going to be changed, it's going to be called one and on. So now if we just log, let's see if we are having a products or not. So it should be returning our products. Let's just inspect here. Okay, that's array of 30, so means we are having that product. So now what's we are going to match it here. So first thing first, I think that's not mandatory to be keeping here. Yeah, so only one time we're gonna just call it here. Okay, yeah, we are having the product. So now what we're going to do, we need to filter with the product, like whenever we're gonna make the product is available or not. So I'm gonna take another arrays here, which going to be defined as a filter products. So how we going to filter? So let's just make that effect here. So is effect, and we're gonna set the dependency letter. What's wrong with here? Oh, is effect, I think should use effect. Okay, we just declare it within a function. That's the problem. Okay, now here we're gonna just define that. So we're gonna make that filterable item. So it should be const filtered. And how it going to be filtered? So it should be mapping through that products.filter. We're gonna use that filter method, and we're gonna pass that item. So item, it should be our product item. It's going to coming back from there. So we're gonna make that item dot title dot to lowercase, or to local lowercase. So we're gonna make it in a lowercase. Then we're gonna make that includes. So whatever the includes is available, and we're gonna include for our search query. The query we are going to provide it, and also you're gonna make it to lowercase. So means whenever we are typing something, means here in that here, whenever we're gonna type something, whatever we type, we're gonna make it in a lowercase, then we're gonna just filter with that. So we're gonna filter with our product. So whatever the match with that, it should be available here. If I type here mango, so if that array, product array, is consisting the mango, it's gonna return the mango. Other value, it should be filtered out. So that's the properties we're gonna create. So just let's log with the filter item what we are getting from here. So it will be like filtered. Okay, and here we're gonna also mention that whenever the search query is changed, it will just render together. Okay, so now I'm gonna reload here as this function is going to be working. So put some watch, as you see, put a. So we match over 21 products. So instead of dealing with that, I'm going to directly handle that parameter. So what I'm gonna do is to just make that, instead of console log, I'm gonna make set filtered product to keep everything here. So now as we are having there, set back the properties. So what I'm gonna do is to map that portion, right? So here, this search query, it should be available whenever we have the search query, and this one we're gonna make a property here. First, if we have that filter product dot length, okay, so if it's available, actually instead of going on and on, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just popping that here. Okay, we need to get the search icon, and also you need to get the link parameter. So if we are having that like filtered products dot length is bigger than 0, then we are showing the product. If it's no product is matching, as you see, nothing matched with, we are providing the search query. The search query you have been provided, that please try again. So what ever happen when we are having the match product is there? So filtered products dot map, the props is going to be coming as the type of a product, and we are putting a link parameter here. Then we are generating that a search icon. Then we are just passing that item dot title. So then it's a simple class name properties is there also, but we are click here, we are making that search query as an empty product, and whenever we are clicking on that, we are sending that with a single product with particular query parameter which we are requiring. So if we just write something here like what do you call that? Okay, as you see, powder canister. If we click here, that's coming here. I think also our border is not working, so let's just roll back here. Okay, so what's wrong here? Why the border is not working? So that should be our parameter here. Okay, let's just provide a border. So we're gonna make it Amazon dark. Yeah, that's the border. So not fully Amazon dark. I'm gonna provide a 50% of opacity. Okay, now cool. Nothing match. Nothing match. Okay, if we click, it's just sending back. Now there we need to create another process. If we click outside of that parameter, it should disappear. Whenever it's activated, only that time that will appear, right? So in that, it will be the similar function of that the parameter which we creating. Don't worry, we're gonna create. I think we can pass it in our next build. So you can feel free to combine that, because whenever we click, it should disappear, right? Like the same thing it's going to be happen. So we're going to create it in our next phase also. So I think into this build you can go up and start the finish the state property and also then finish the other parameter also. I think you can do it, and I'm gonna see you in next build.